What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Gooner channel, a channel 100% dedicated to the Arsenal, who, as we all know, are by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. So, still no big news story, still no Declan Rice holding up the shirt, still no Jurrien Timber in the shirt. And we know medicals are done and it's all I's dotted and T's crossed. Everybody knows these deals are happening, but there's nothing really to celebrate. And that's started me thinking, actually. I, as an Arsenal fan, had become used to over decades the fact that Arsenal were very tight-lipped about their business. You didn't hear a lot about it. Yes, there's been things that came out in the past, but the scale of the kind of leaking that's going on at the moment is something new for me. Let me explain what I mean by that. First of all, in December, we were strongly linked with Declan Rice. It was a well-known fact amongst everybody that he was our number one priority for summer. Now, I know he hasn't officially signed yet, but he clearly was, and so I wondered where that news story had come from. It was clear that West Ham wouldn't sell him in the January transfer window. We made a bid for Moises Caicedo. We made two bids for Moises Caicedo. How did the world know about that? He didn't ultimately sign. Now, I don't think it was Brighton that released that information. Obviously, the situation wasn't helped by Moises Caicedo himself, and players do seem to be playing more of a part in the social media here. But then fast forward a little bit through the January transfer window, and you find the little things like when Saka had apparently agreed a contract, and everybody reported it. Breaking news, Saka agrees to stay, and then there was that sort of 6 to 8 weeks where nothing had actually been signed yet. He'd agreed in principle. The same has now happened with Reece Nelson. Saliba, there was this kind of, is Saliba signing a new contract? Well, we know he has now signed a new contract. But what made me really confident about it way back was, A, the news reports that he just paid for a brand new all-purpose gym in his house, which is not something you typically do before moving abroad. But also the fact that Arsenal accidentally leaked his shirt number for the new season as number 2, which we know is the number he wanted. Not to mention the fact that they leaked the actual kits as well, and then leaked that there was a problem with the kit. Or maybe I'm using the word leaked wrong here. They were not able to manage the flow of information. There's the departure of Granit Xhaka towards the end of the season, where we all knew he was going to buy Leverkusen, and then that really went quiet. There was Emil Smith-Rowe not leaving and being retrained as a number 8. And then there was Kai Havertz. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I know that no one saw the Kai Havertz deal happening or coming. But it suddenly appeared we were signing Kai Havertz. I will admit that at the time I was a little bit taken back by it because we were all still nervous and tense waiting to see if Declan Rice crossed the line. And there were people saying, oh, we've spent this much money on Kai, maybe we're not getting... I don't have to remind you, it was a slightly fraught time for Arsenal fans. Probably shouldn't have been. And so, of course, our interest in Kai Havertz wasn't leaked or mismanaged before we actually found out we were in for him. But we found out we were in for him. Then there was the leak of him in the shirt before he actually signed. We know he was in Malaga for Rita Balaga's wedding. So the actual first photographs of him in an Arsenal shirt were leaked, as was the video he made welcoming him to the club and saying hello to the fans. That was also leaked. That seems a bit much, doesn't it? Now we've got the mismanaged fact that Jurrien Timber's leaving party, his family apparently held a party for him on the weekend. His brother posted a snap on Instagram, and in that picture, Jurrien Timber is wearing an Arsenal shirt and it says goodbye and good luck in London. I mean, okay, you can't blame Arsenal for that. But all I'm saying is that our PR team don't seem to be on top of any of this. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. There is something really comforting about knowing that we've definitely signed Declan Rice before you see him holding up the shirt. It just reminds me that it didn't used to be that way. I always think back to Ian Wright and the signing of Ian Wright. Or better still, not even that long ago. What about when we signed Sol Campbell? It just turned up. And that was it. No speculation, no rumours, no in the nose, no here we goes. Sol Campbell steps out from behind a curtain. To the shock of everybody, half of the world's press didn't even know to be there that day. And that's how we used to do our business under David Dean. Now, I think Edu Gaspar is doing a fantastic job. Won't hear a word said about him or against him. And I love that Mikel Arteta has players in mind. Coming back to the Kai Havertz thing, of course, look, one of the reasons we weren't overwhelmingly happy about it was it wasn't clear where Kai Havertz is going to play. He's played as a false nine, a number 9, not with all that much success. He's played on the right wing. We've got Saka there. But now, so I want to give a huge shout out to Harvey Gratian. I hope I'm saying that right. Arsenal fan, and he's started a channel at Harvey Gratian. Link will be down there. Go check it out. He did a fantastic video about how Kai Havertz is likely to be, or that we've all got Kai Havertz wrong, and he's going to be our Raumdeuter. Now, that's how you actually say it, by the way, Harvey, if you're watching this, because I loved your video, but you do keep mispronouncing Raumdeuter. English people tend to call it Ramdeuter. It's not that. It just means somebody interprets space. Thomas Muller coined the phrase in 2011. I loved the video. It explains what this kind of position is and why Kai Havertz might be perfect for it. As I'm sure I don't need to tell you if you've watched my videos, I'm not really tactically astute at all, but I found this a really interesting video, and it got me looking around. I didn't really know too much about this position because I stopped playing Football Manager a decade ago, and apparently this is something that those of you who do play it, and let me know in the comments if you do, because I'm thinking of getting back into it. But that said, Harvey Gratian, fantastic video. So it looks to me like we've got this really interesting plan in mind for allowing Kai Havertz this kind of loose role where he just occupies space in a sort of Thomas Muller way. Please do go and check out Harvey's channel. I mean, he's got fewer videos than me and he's doing much better than me, but I think he deserves to do really well. Do you think that there is something wrong with the way we're handling our media business at the moment? I think it kind of works better this way. Imagine how frustrated you'd be right now. There is still news to come. Obviously, we want to see if Thomas Partey does end up getting himself a European team. He's been linked with a move to Saudi Arabia. There's apparently Saudi Arabian teams after everyone at the moment. The shock news today for me was that, and this is a Fabrizio Romano, here we go, so must be true, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. Now, at the start of pre-season, I had a list of players that I thought would really fit us. Obviously, it was before we signed Kai Havertz for the Raumdeuter role. I really like Milinkovic-Savic, and apparently he's now going to Saudi Arabia. I just can't get my head around this. He's not at that kind of age. I mean, I know that there have been players going slightly younger, but I thought really he would take this opportunity to win some silverware or play in the Champions League. Now, don't get me wrong. If somebody wants to offer me the kind of money the Saudis are throwing at football, maybe I'd be tempted as well. Who am I kidding? I'd be tempted with the kind of money they offer you in Salford United. So, but look, the reality here is that Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, who had apparently had Arsenal at the top of his wish list, has now had his future, has now decided to go and play in Saudi Arabia. I'm going to have to watch some of these matches. I don't know any of the teams or anything about it. I thought it was really funny when Ronaldo was being interviewed by Piers Morgan. And Piers Morgan said, they've all got you wrong. If it was just about the money, you'd go to Saudi Arabia. And then sure enough, a few months later, he actually does go to Saudi Arabia. But there's no arguing with the flood of players that are going out there. It must be worth a watch, I would guess. I'm not sure how I'm going to pick my team. Let me know if you are also going to be watching Saudi football or where we can watch it. Anyway, for a slow news day, content. I did manage to produce content. I am producing content for you every single day because I care that you have something to watch. Remember, don't just be clicking subscribe because I asked you to. Click it because you genuinely want to watch more of these videos. Don't forget to hit a like. I count them, And the comments. I live for your comments. Some really brilliant ones. And I'm deeply grateful for all the kind words. That's it for Tuesday, the 11th of July. Until I see you again tomorrow. Be lucky. Lots of love.